I want to thank each and every one of you for joining us this evening for our last Thursday of the Month Club. This is a club that meets every last Thursday of the month, and we talk of topical discussions that may be of interest to the industry, to the public, and we're always open to ideas and suggestions of what you may want to hear. What I think is quite important is that tonight wouldn't happen if it weren't for each and every one in the room, each and every person that's live streaming, and then each and every one of our clients that actually come back and potentially listen to this when there is a need or after the event. And so we thank you, our clients, for the support, because without you, we wouldn't have a business. And we're very grateful and we're very fortunate to have the business that we have. And we know that we couldn't do that without you. So thank you. Each and everyone, give yourselves a big round of applause for coming out when we're tired, because I've been told that it's nearly year end and we're all tired in not the greatest of weather, but at least it's cooling down. But also we know time is precious. We hope that you're going to appreciate it. At the same time, I'd just like to thank my staff for making this possible, because thank you. I agree. We have sitting next to me Estelle, and any of you who have worked with her, and I know that every one of you in the room have worked with her, know the value and the depth of the knowledge that she has on the Discovery Health team. And patience and the ability to actually simplify a relatively complex solution that is available. So Estelle, thank you. I couldn't do health without Estelle, and we have a sizable health book which keeps on growing and growing, which we're exceptionally grateful for. We have our support team in the background, Lisa, Lesedi. They always hide. They are there. They're integral parts of our team. And certainly we appreciate the help and the support that they do. Lorato, who makes sure that our offices are clean and spotless, and teas and coffees and everything. So Lorato, thank you. Skeen, who makes all of the food happen. And makes it seamless. So for that, we do thank you. And then we have not part of our team, but part of the solution that's available for clients from our office, which is the Candid Wealth Advisory Services, and that's Lindsay and Renelle. And they represent Growth House as a financial services solution and offer alternatives outside of the Discovery space. So Estelle and I are Discovery. The rest of our team from Candid 2020 is Discovery, but we have obviously got Lindsay and Renelle that look after short-term commercial space, Renelle, and then long-term, short-term, Lindsay investments, etc. So chat to them afterwards, get to know what they're doing. We have a newbie in the block, Simon. He's the barman, so make sure you stay friends with him. He pours a mean whiskey, which I'm thankful for too, and hopefully going to potentially embark upon financial services after he finishes his exams. And hopefully he passes with a distinction so that he can enroll next year, even though he doesn't want to for his honors. But we'll deal with that next week when we need to. So without any further ado, my team, I respect and thank you. And I'm eternally grateful for both my clients and my team that support. Candid 2020 is our business. We have a website, we have social media, Instagram, Facebook. Please go follow us, because that is how we can communicate with you and share little bits of information. It's very difficult in this day and age to get information through to people. And so any opportunity where we can, please do try and make it a little bit easier. We are certified financial planners. We offer the full financial planning spectrum. I think a lot of people see the Discovery sign at the gate and go, well, we are a Discovery medical aid. We're not. We are financial advisors. We use the Discovery solutions, the ecosystem within Discovery, to provide solutions for financial planning needs. That could include medical aid, which we're here tonight to talk about. It can include our Vitality, which is, I believe, the heartbeat of Discovery that makes it successful and ties all of our products together. And we'll be touching on that slightly this evening too. We have our creating and protecting wealth as our model within Candid 2020, creating investments. at whatever stage you are in your life. If you're similar to Simon, or you have children like Simon that need to start investing, that need to understand, that's where we get to. And if you're our clients who have retired, who have been long in retirement space, we provide solutions to those clients in terms of unlocking value in their living annuities, in their offshore endowments, etc. The creating wealth, investment space, and then the protecting of the wealth, the risk side of it, the disability, the income protection, the death cover. Estate planning benefit, probably the most important that I think never gets spoken about, and tying all of that together with Vitality for Health, Vitality for Money on the banking side, and then Vitality for Drive on the insure side, protecting those assets that you've worked so hard for. But tonight you're here to chat around the medical aid. It's that time of the year where all of the medical schemes across the country go back to their actuarial calculations, their figures, and go, how much usage has there been in the previous year, and how much are we going to need to potentially look to make changes, not only in the costing side, potentially in the benefit side, and how can we add value to our clients' lives. The standard, or the motto that Discovery stand by and have done for many years, is making people healthier and enhancing and protecting their lives. That's what they stand for. And I think if we look at tonight's talk on the medical aid side, what I'd like to share with you is some of the information that was released towards the end of beginning of October, training and development in October, and we now pick this up and we start to share it with each and every one of our clients. I want to give you the assurance that you are working with a medical scheme that is solid, that is very aware of the presence that they have. We have almost 58% market share in the medical schemes within South Africa. So it's something that they take extremely responsibly. They're very aware of the responsibility that comes with that market share. And each and every development that they have changed to their product, they're aware and cognizantly aware of where the future of healthcare is going to go. And it's not an easy ball to juggle. And hopefully tonight I'll give you some indication of how and where that is. Council for Medical Schemes governs the medical aid solutions in the country. And there's certain rules and regulations that we need to abide by. And one of them is making sure that we have solvency. Solvency is making sure that there's enough reserves to be able to fund payments. Oh, Meg, have you got something flying around? There is this terrible little bug that just flies around. So when you see somebody like this, they're not going dilly. There is something there, I promise you. Hopefully it flies away, Meg. But the solvency is making sure that there is sustainability and the ability to pay for claims. 25% is the prescribed amount that is required by law from the medical schemes, and Discovery have a 31%. So there is sufficient funds within the health scheme, giving you confidence that when there are procedures, that there is the ability to pay for them. I think what is important to know that 31% actually amounts to a 32 billion rand. We have to look after that very carefully. It could be argued that we could potentially say not have any increases because we have the reserves. However, not having increases in this year may cause a catastrophic amount in 3 or 5 years' time. And it's a very difficult calculation. I listened to actuaries in our training explaining it. It made a lot of sense. I'm not sure I'd be able to do it the same justice without their actuarial mind. But what it does is they are very aware that they need to make sure that with inflation, there is always going to be sufficient money. That is not the scheme's money. It's there. It's available. It's not Discovery's money. It's there for the scheme to be able to be paying those monies out. It's a AAA rating, which I think gives you the confidence that it is a solid scheme that you are a member of or plan to be a member of if you're not already one. There are 25 plans that are available for choice, and I'm going to try and break them down as simply as possible. One of the reasons we do these events, we record them, we then play them back, and we also give you the availability to be able to come back and listen to them. There may be questions. We'll deal with all of your questions at the end of the session. And then, very importantly, that create a question and have a consultation with us so that we can answer those questions in private and with your specific needs. Of those 25 plans, everybody has a different budget. Everybody has a different need. Our role as advisors is to try to establish what your need is, what your budget is, and try and find a workable solution. We all know that we want the top plan, and we want to pay the bottom premium. And unfortunately, it doesn't work that way. Our role is to try and find that in-between line, make you aware of the decision you've made, potential changes that you can make, and then obviously how to use the scheme to the best benefit. Don't worry, Estelle will get a chance to put a word in edgeways. I'll breathe, I'll take a sip, and then she can dive in. Of those 25 plans, there is many plan types. We start with our key care. We have a core plan. We move into a smart plan, a nice space that has just been created with the smart saver plan, a saver plan, priority, comprehensive, and then executive. And that price point and that service or solution that you're buying is going to be determined by how many members you have on the plan and what plan type you're on. In addition to the plan types, typically what we look at is what type of benefits are you wanting? And each one of those benefits potentially comes with a cost element linked to it. We're going to start off with the core benefit. And the core benefit, I always say to clients, is typically your hospital benefit. That means that you're admitted into hospital, and when you're admitted into hospital, the hospital costs will be covered. There are specialist costs that are incurred in addition to the hospital costs, and those may have a different solution in terms of being covered fully. Hello. Come in and grab a drink before you sit down, Chris. And the hospital benefit, I think what is important to know is that our scheme does not have any limits in a hospital plan. So and I always say to our clients, when the chips are down, when the odds are against you, you have this peace of mind of knowing that the cover is going to be consistent and at the highest level possible. In addition to the hospital benefit, we have full cover for emergencies, covering funeral, we haven't got there yet, ambulance cover, and making sure that you have 24/7 cover and care for ambulance protection and protection for emergencies that's there. Covered hospital specialists. We have what we call the Discovery Health rate. That is the rate that is proportion for what we believe specialists is a fair value for that particular process. Now, a specialist can choose to charge what they choose to charge, dependent on their speciality, how long they've been practicing, etc. And if that Discovery Health rate, and I always use the example, is 1,000 Rand, for example, that specialist may say, I'm going to charge you 3,500 Rand. The scheme on an essential plan will cover 100% of the specialist's rate. An essential plan will cover 100% of the Discovery Health rate. A classic plan will cover 200% of the Discovery Health rate. So you can appreciate that an essential plan is going to be cheaper than a classic plan, right? Because the protection in hospital for specialists is slightly lower, 100% versus 200. 300% if you're on the executive plan. In that scenario, if you're on a classic plan and the specialist is charging 3,500, we will pay 2,000 Rand and you would be responsible for the difference, right? Gap cover is a short-term solution that can mitigate any potential shortfalls if you are working with specialists who are charging slightly more than the Discovery Health rate. Again, I make these comments. There are a lot of these videos that are available on the website that explains gap cover. So if it's something you want to know, that's a starting point, or reach out to us and we can go through it in more detail. So in hospital cover for specialists, 100, 200 or 300% dependent on your plan type and your selection. In addition to that, we have full cover for emergencies, those vehicle accidents, trauma, falling down the stairs, etc., being booked into hospital, you would be covered for those emergencies. That is our core benefit. We have a network of hospitals that's available for those in-hospital processes, procedures that we've just spoken about. Our Delta network, our Smart network, our Coastal network. I forget about that because I'm not sure if I'm jealous or not of the people that do come and live from the Eastern Cape or the Western Cape, but we do have a coastal solution that's available there. And then we have a Key Care network solution. Tonight, we would be here for 5-6 hours if I were going to go into detail. Again, it's to make you aware of availability. If we have no network, a classic saver, for example, I have freedom of choice to go to any hospital in the country. However, if I've chosen a classic Delta saver, I must use the Delta network of hospitals for my planned procedures. That medical emergency, you'll be taken to the nearest hospital if there is a potential loss of life, loss of limb, loss of bodily fluid, stabilized, and then moved to the network hospital. Unfortunately, we're all human, and any emergency is critical in my eyes. It needs to be a medical emergency, a medical loss of life, loss of limb, loss of bodily fluid. If they aren't those three, drive the extra 20, 30 Ks to the network hospital and you'll be taken care of there. So the network hospitals, Delta, Smart, Coastal, and then obviously Key Care is a network hospital for doctors and hospitals. I'm going to not spend too much time on it, or else we'll be here for a long period of time and I'll have everybody falling asleep. Chronic benefit is part of our core benefit. Chronic benefit is where, and I always say to people, if you are being prescribed something that you're going to take for the rest of your life, potentially, that is considered a chronic medication, and the scheme will pay that out of the risk benefit. However, it's very important that the doctor registers that as a chronic on the Discovery Health scheme. A lot of people say to me, but Shirley, Discovery know that I went to the doctor. We do. We know that you charged a consultation. We have no idea what happened in that consultation. That's Poppy. We have no idea of the outcome of the blood tests that may have been paid for. Poppy. So although we know that you've been to the doctor, we do not know what your treatment is, what is being processed, etc. So very important that your doctor registers any chronic benefit on the scheme, and that is all done through a digital process, and they would then be loading it on an iPad and registering whether it might be high blood pressure, what tablet you're on, etc. And if that is approved, it will then be paid out of the risk portion and not out of your medical savings account. Estelle is a guru in this space. She knows how to work the system, how you can check to see what chronic medication is registered on your behalf. She can't, it's confidential, but she can tell you where you can on the app and where you can find that information. Very important that our chronic disease list that we have, there is 2 formularies, one for our plans on the Key Care, the Classic Smarts, the Saver, and then a separate formulary for the comprehensive and the executive plan. So when you're sitting here today, there's a reason why you're here. How much are we increasing? What changes are coming? Can I increase, change my plan? And yes, you can. There's a window period that is open now, and this is the time. So if you have had a diagnosis of something recently, it may be time potentially to look to upgrade. If you are in financial distress for whatever reason, wanting to save some money now, it may be time to potentially look to downgrade. And our role here is to try and simplify that process and make you aware that we can guide you through that process when there is a need. The chronic drug amount, if we do not necessarily cover that drug that is on your prescription from the doctor, we would then say what is on our list, and we will cover the amount that's on our list, and you would have the potential to pay the difference so that you can take the drug that your doctor is referring you or prescribing to you because of your condition and your scenario. So very important to know that you would not be declined. It would just be a portion would be paid and the balance would be for your account. How to access the chronic medication. And Estelle, let me take that sip and you can perhaps just give us some ideas of how you would access it.
So everybody here should have a username or password or have the app on your phone, because I've put it there. So it's much easier to see it on the website. So if you log into www.discovery and you click on medical aid, say manage your health plan, and we scroll down to manage your chronic medications, because that not only gives you the medication that is available to you and approved for you, but also the basket of care that is available on your condition, or that was approved for your condition. So I've shown many of you the basket of care, your doctor's visits, your tests that could be run for high blood pressure. Your blood pressure tests can be done 2 or 3 times a year and get paid from your chronic benefit. So it's very important to know where your basket of care is and to make sure that the medication is correctly on the chronics.
Perfect. Screening and prevention is part of our core benefit. Each and every member has access to screening and prevention. And that's very important in terms of understanding blood pressure, height and weight, cholesterol, mammograms for ladies, prostate screening for men, pap smears, etc. So there are a basket of screening prevention tests that are covered by the scheme. There are certain rules that apply to per annum. If I'm low risk in terms of my mammogram, if I'm high risk, I can apply to see whether or not and motivate whether I could have an extra one funded for as a result of medical history, etc. There's screening for children. And then very important screening benefits for our over 65s, for our seniors, additional eye tests, additional tests to establish what's happening with your bones and bone density and things of that nature. So very important that you understand those screening preventions. We have a considerable amount of success with that, over 198,000 mammograms. 204,000 prostate screenings just last year in terms of and 152,000 flu vaccines, which hopefully all helps you be healthier and prevents additional costs to the medical scheme by things being picked up potentially too late. Maternity benefit is one that is embedded into our plan. I'm not sure if there's anyone in the room that's... Thanks, Gaynor, for looking around. But we do know that you may have children that are, or grandchildren, that are going to be using potentially the maternity benefit. And we have our online community. The maternity benefit has had a couple of extra benefits added to it, which we're very proud of. And I think it's something important that we understand that the maternity benefit comes from the scheme and not from the medical savings account as such. Our day-to-day benefits, this now brings us into our saver plan, into our comprehensive, our priority, our executive plans. This is a pool of money that's given to you at the beginning of the year. And I know there is not one client out there that doesn't say that it runs out too soon. And we understand that, and hopefully there is a solution that might be quite exciting for each and every one of you. But the medical savings account is given to you at the beginning of the year. It's there for you to use for your day-to-day, your visits to the GP, optometry visits, needing for new spectacles, hearing, anything of that nature, falls down the stairs, not being admitted to hospital, needing x-rays, all of those would come out of your day-to-day benefit. Very important that you understand how that is funded, that you manage those. And again, I'd suggest that you go back into the website, potentially even reach out to Estelle, ask her for the link to be able to say, how do I manage my medical savings account? How do I check my claims transaction history? How do I understand what is coming out of my savings and how far I am, particularly for our clients that are on the executive and the comprehensive plan, because your goal is to get through goal. Your plan provides you to go through a self-payment gap and go into the above threshold benefit, which is the additional protection that you've bought on that scheme. So if we go back and just to refresh, we have our key care, network hospitals, network doctors. A very nice plan for people who have lower incomes, entrance into the job market. People that this is the only plan where we ask you, what do you earn? And based on your earnings, do we determine the premium? Every other plan from core all the way to executive is a one fee, regardless of whether you're on an employer group, whether you're paying for it privately, unless you have late joiner penalties. So we have a flat rate for all of those plans. Key care, network driven, very, very successful plan for that market and in that space. A lot of people love it. It's one of Estelle's favorites, actually. Core is our hospital benefit. Smart is our network hospitals using network doctors. And we have a new entrant into the scheme, the Smart Saver series, which we'll be just touching base on now and giving you some food for thoughts. We have our Saver plan. This is the middle of the road, in my opinion. Network, if we have the Delta. Freedom of choice, if we just have Saver. Day-to-day benefits, private hospital care, and giving you that screening and prevention, chronic and day-to-day benefits.
9% of the members in the room tonight is on a classic Saver.
It's a plan we like. It's a plan that we believe gives you good value for money under normal medical requirements. We then move on to a priority plan, which is a plan potentially that Estelle and I don't particularly like because there are co-payments. However, there is a purpose and a plan for it. There are ways to mitigate that if you choose to. So a priority plan gives you a limited above threshold benefit, but has co-payments when you're in hospital. So if we've said the priority word and you want to know more about it, please reach out to us. It's very important that you understand that. Comprehensive is our plan that says what it is. It's comprehensive. It is going to give you above threshold benefits when your savings have been depleted. It gives you richer oncology benefits, which I think could be important. We'll touch on that shortly. And then our executive plan is the 3 times Discovery Health rate, unlimited above threshold benefit. And when you have medical requirements that are uncertain, an executive plan is something to consider. An executive plan, you can upgrade in our window period. When is our window period? When we have increases. There's no underwriting at that time. You can downgrade whenever you choose to, but upgrades are only allowed and permissible in the window period. Increases, it's why you're in the room potentially tonight. There is an average increase that comes in, and this is where I go. Where are my notes? 3.9% is typically allowed or allocated for inflation, for CPI inflation. So 3.9% for CPI, 1.7% for new supply and new medication. We have in just the oncology benefit, in our oncology space, there is so many new drugs that are coming out constantly that are proving to be very successful. And as those are becoming more aware, they're being prescribed more often. And as a result of that, there are high costs related to it. And I only talk of oncology. There's new machinery, there's new equipment, there's new X-ray machine technology, etc. So 1.7% for that, as well as supply side utilization. Demand side utilization, 3.5 to 4.5%. The population aging, as needing to be able to supply medical to those new hospitals being formed and built in special areas. Those are all new hospitals that are being filled by members that are members already. So now suddenly those hospitals are being utilized, and that cost impacts and creeps into it. Incidentally, the UK this year has a 16% medical inflation. That's something that is concerning of how do they deal with that. And that's not unique to the UK. It's spread around the world. South Africa is not too different, but our inflation is lower. Discovery have various initiatives that they look at to try and mitigate some of these increases. Risk management technology, preventing fraud as much as possible. Personal health, that drops a -1. So we've had the pluses, the plus 3.9, plus 1.7, plus 3.5, 4.5. Come, where's my mathematicians in the room? Whatever that takes us. Now we're starting to minus because of our risk management process, -1. -1.2 on personal health pathways, which we'll be discussing and going through a bit later. And -1.2 for the health pathways and the vitality, attracting new younger members to the scheme, and increasing people's awareness of potential illnesses that may come and reducing costs to the scheme. So as a result, we have the increase in the tariff increase. We have a flat rate of either a 6.9% or a 7.9% increase on next year's rate, dependent on the plan that you're on. We know that we have the Saver plan that is the most of the people comes in at a 6.9% increase for next year. It means a weighted average of 7.2% for next year. We do have a new plan, the Active Smart from last year, that has a 0% increase, and we'll just touch base on that. But your average that you're looking at is a 6.9, 7.9, or the 7.2 that comes through from there. However, the good news is that all of these increases have been deferred until the 1st of April. So the increase will not happen on the 1st of January like normal. It has been deferred to the 1st of April. It's a way of giving back to our members in terms of the increases that we're giving, dealing with our solvency ratio, that we do have surplus solvency, but also not compromising our position for future year increases. There is no point in giving a low increase this year and then giving double-digit increases next year to catch up on what we have not accounted for in this year. Incidentally, it's the second lowest increase in the country from our competitors, and it is the lowest over the last 2 years if you consolidate both of those. With the delay in the increase, I have no idea. We are over 2 years. The weighted average of the increase for next year as a result of the delay or the deferment of it makes it a 5.4% increase, which I think is something that is substantial, and it's giving back over 1.5 billion rand to our members. And that accounts to over 1,100 per member in next year's increase. So sadly, there is an increase. However, I think it's an increase that has been relatively managed in the bigger scheme of things, and then the deferment of it does give a little bit of relief for the next couple of months. What that means to you is your medical savings account amounts will stay frozen for January, February, March, April, when we have our increase, they'll be reset back to what it would have been for the 12-month period. We'll answer questions to that as and where we need to on that side. At this stage, I want to dive into a new plan that's been launched that we speak of, which is the Classic Smart Saver. So Classic Smart was introduced a couple of years ago. Everything in my life is 2 years, but I think it's probably closer to 6. But so it was introduced some time ago and has proved to be extremely popular, particularly in our younger generation. Smart because it uses smart technology. It tells you which hospital is closest to you, which doctor is closest to you on the smart technology basis. And it gives you private hospital care within the network, but you're then responsible for your day-to-day benefits. However, with the introduction of the Smart Saver series, we're now combining some medical savings account with our network doctors and hospitals, giving you a little bit of best of both worlds, if that's something that you're looking to potentially go into. How does it work? We've got an Active Smart, 1,350. We have an Essential Smart, 2,161. Essential, 100% paid to the specialists in hospital. Classic Smart, 200% paid to the physician specialist in hospital. And our Classic Smart comes in at 3,018. Our Classic Saver, Smart Saver plans for next year have a premium of 2,557 compared to our 2,161, and giving you a medical savings of 2,316. Our Classic Smart Saver, 3,115, and a pool of money of 2,820 for day-to-day costs, etc. A plan that both, I think, Estelle and I are
agreeing.
Excited. We tend to find, although we have been through the presentations, we've been through the training, we read the material, unfortunately, we do learn by trial and error. It's actually just one of those things. So as we progress, we learn as we're going. From what we understand, that those are two potentially the Classic Smart Saver. The Classic Smart is a plan that we would like to look at encouraging. If somebody said to me, Shirley, I cannot afford the 3,115 Rand, no matter how much you think that I should be on that plan, we do have options to go to the Active Smart of 1,350. You can appreciate that on a 1,350, you're not going to get the cover of somebody who's on a 3,115 plan. Now, the importance is to understand what those differences are, and that's what we as a team do here, is try to share that information with you in order to make an informed decision. What do you think of the Smart plan, Estelle?
So the Classic Smart, we agree upon. That covers your day-to-day benefits in the Smart network, Smart doctors, has your sporting injuries for the younger generation. And
the older, they also do sport.
They do. I give them that.
It's not discriminate.
So yeah, we have the sporting injury on that, and the new Classic Smart Saver also for new families now have the children injury. So children under 12 has that casualty benefit for the children under 12. So that's very nice to have. The Essential Smart, Dynamic and Active Smart has a whole lot of exclusions. So as soon as we touch those plans, we will make you aware of the exclusion. Joint replacements are one of the big ones that is excluded on these plans. That you need to be aware of before picking one of the lower cost plans.
Something is better than nothing.
Definitely.
However, when we sit with our clients, and we've been doing it for years, it's never going to happen to them until it happens to them. And that is the difficulty. So our job is to make you aware and then for you to make those decisions and be aware of the risk that you're taking on those plans. However, I reiterate, something is better than nothing. So very much important to know the exclusions. The oncology benefit, there have been adjustments and changes to our comprehensive plan. The new drugs that are out are costing a lot of money. They are proving to be very successful. And as a result, they're becoming more and more popular with oncologists in terms of the treating. And the scheme has a responsibility to make sure that it is sustainable for each and every member for the long term. So as a result, there are some adjustments that are coming in there. Be aware of those. Our oncology benefits remain extremely rich across all of our plans. And I would encourage each and every person to have severe illness protection in conjunction with the medical aid. What that means is it's protecting you and your family if there is a diagnosis of a cancer, a heart attack, a stroke, a coronary heart bypass. We focus on those top 4 because they are the main claimants in that special and that's severe illness benefit. And people say to me, but Shirley, I've got a medical aid. Why do I need this? The medical aid has certain limitations. Maybe there is a new drug that is out that is perfectly suited to you and your diagnosis. Without access to funds, the scheme may not necessarily pay for it. You're going to be very angry and upset. If we have a severe illness benefit, it can pay out to fund all of those and just enhance that protection. So please don't be naive and believe that the hospital benefit, the oncology benefit is all you need. Severe illness protection, and those are just 4. There is a list of other chronic conditions, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, all sorts of other horrible diseases that we don't want to think about in good health. If we look at the personal health pathways, and to me, this is an extremely important part of the plan. Personal health pathways was introduced 2 years ago, 3 years ago, Estelle? 2 years.
No, it was first the wealth fund, then it changed to the personal pathways.
So the wealth fund, during COVID, there was underutilization as a result of people not going to hospitals. And as a result, there was a surplus of funds, and each member was given a wealth fund to be able to fund some medication, tests, hospitalization, out of hospital expenses. From there, they converted it from a wealth fund to a personal health fund. And they have created the personal health pathways. And to me, it's a very exciting initiative because it's driving positive individual behavior. So we as a scheme could say everybody is going to get this wealth fund. Is that fair compared to people who are managing and looking after their health? And we want everybody to look after and manage their health. So we're going to give them personal nudges to do certain tests, certain activities to look after their plan. Your personal health pathway is going to be very different from mine. It's going to be very different from Estelle. It's all going to be based on my lifestyle, my age, my gender, and what I've done in the past. So our personal health fund is going to be a very exciting plan in my opinion. And I think let's let Estelle tell us a little bit about this. Well, tell us, talk us through it, Estelle.
Well, it talks through, so
well, we are, I'm hoping, I'm hoping our personal health fund, Estelle is the guru. You can see I haven't played this back. I was hoping she was talking as we do it.
No, it's too quick.
It's too quick. She should have slowed it down, but that's a topic. Perhaps the whole night's been too quick. Personal health fund, if you have not activated it, reach out to Estelle and make sure you have activated it before the end of the year. This is giving you a step-by-step guide on how to do it.
Because this is in the health app, activating it. You can also activate it on the website. And everybody that does activate the personal pathway, this year, before the end of the year, and do your vitality health check, that finger prick we always send you for, and your vitality age, will start off the new year with a positive 1,000 Rand in your personal pathway that's going to fund all your day-to-day things. Because what the medical aid does is we'll check if there's money in your personal pathway. We'll pay your day-to-day from there first. If there's no funds available, we will pay from the medical savings account. So I will help each and everyone with the activation of the personal pathway, and that could help you to stretch your medical savings to get to that end of the year stretch.
I think what's important for me is that personal health pathways is here to stay. It's not something that has come and going to go. It is something that Discovery are using as a very big initiative to try and encourage good behavior. I almost sat and listened to the training and realized this is our vitality coach at play, giving us suggestions to go for our pap smear, because we haven't done it yet. Not only are we going to get funds in our health fund, we're also going to get points for vitality, and we're also going to then be climbing up that ladder and unlocking additional benefits.
And earning miles.
And earning miles, which is my favorite pastime. But I think what is important here, it's bells and whistles, was my thought at the introduction of it. And I probably shouldn't be saying that on camera. When I listened to the training, I realized it's here to stay. It's extremely valuable, and those that unlock it and work with it are going to benefit. And I want to be that person, and I want each and every one of our clients to be those people too. So if we just look at it, there is up to 1,500 extra per member for challenges that could be completed. And a health challenge may be to go and do some activity. It may be to go and do some tests, etc. That means there's up to 3,000 extra Rand per member that is available next year that you're not paying for. It's creating healthy habits. I think what's very important for me is that the personal health pathways with the new developments, it's going to be more precise, it's going to be more personalized, and it's going to be more rewarding. And that is up to every health action an extra 500 Rand. So yes, it's stuff you would be doing. Now you're going to be incentivized and receive money for it. So there's a very busy slide that just explains all of the details. But what it does is it shows how personal health pathways is moving. And we'll be spending some time in January, February, where we will do a deep dive into personal health pathways in a session of this nature, posting it on the website and sharing it in a link for each of you to start to work through to make sure that you're not missing out on it. It's going from up to 12,000 Rand extra to 24,000 Rand extra per family as a max. So it is sizable. It's not peanuts. It's not little bits of incidental money. Just elaborating on the point that I've made, from the 12,000 to the 24,000, personal health challenges will be introduced in the first quarter of next year. How those miles are going to rack up, how the health fund is going to rack up, is all going to be explained in more detail. It will be going live in the new year. We mention this now because, as we've said, and I want to reiterate, make sure you have activated it before the end of the year for a positive balance and to start the new year strong.
You can activate them.
Yes.
And you have to Discovery Health App, not the
I'll
bank.
help you.
Health app.
So it's there.
Health app.
Just haven't started.
Health app or website.
You have to be a vitality member to not.
Ask something, sorry, I might have made a bit of a white noise sound. If you do something before your prompt,
You won't earn it.
so you have to wait for the prompt.
We suggest you wait for the prompt, However, that no, remember for this year, yes, do what you need to do, go for your tests, do what you need to do. But next year, the sequence of events should be personalized. So it should pull up a sequence of events that would be natural to you. Vitality, we have the best news for me on the Vitality is that our points limits and our requirements have not increased. However, our earning capacity has increased. And what we mean by that is in the past, we had 30,000 as a max for activity. Now it has been increased to 35,000 max. So for all of those gym bunnies out there, that is the best news. I even fall into that category because I reached my 30,000 and I still need points. Next year, I'll get an extra 5,000 points that's available there. I'll also be able to, and you will be able to earn more points on Vitality healthy food choices in your basket. Those are going to increase next year and give you the opportunity to earn more points through healthy food score. And that's up to 12,000 points. That's up to 1,000 points per month. So any of you who have been tracking that Vitality Diamond status and said it's a bit hard to get there, it's only hard to get there if you have 2 or more of your basics, BMI, blood pressure, sugar levels, or cholesterol out of range. If you have 2 or more out, it's very difficult because you're capped at 5,000 points. That makes it very difficult in other areas to reach it. These 12,000 points, these extra points, 5,000 points, is going to help that cause. And I can speak from myself as being testament to that. In addition, we have introduced a sleep pattern. So we have a couple of chuckles, and I was one of them that came through in terms of that. But there is considerable amounts of information available to establish that there is a deterioration of sleep patterns. The Discovery have over 47 million nights sleep data. And they have picked up that there is a progressive deterioration in our sleep, and that has a direct impact on our health. And as a result, they're going to start to encourage and track your sleeping patterns. Or a ring. It's on the wrong finger. Or a ring. It's been an interesting it's been an interesting analysis. I've had my Aura ring for the last week, 10 days, and I'm quite intrigued to see the change and the awareness in terms of my sleep over those 10 days. It sounds bizarre, and if you had told me 2 months ago that I would be tracking it, I'd have laughed at you, as you are, Louis. But I can tell you that it's been quite an eye-opening exercise for me. I do not sleep with my watch on. I could think of nothing worse. The ring, actually, I've got so used to that I don't actually feel it anymore. And I think what's important to me is it actually makes me think that I only got to bed at 11 o'clock last night, and I realized that actually that was half an hour later than normal. That means I've got half an hour less to sleep. I had an early morning start this morning, which meant I actually had an hour less to sleep. And all of that has a compounding effect. So the sleep is going to become a very integral part across all of our behaviors in terms of our vitality and in terms of our driving and in terms of the banking and the ability to earn extra miles. It is certainly something that I'm going to monitor and see. My Aura Ring watch has been funded through my Vitality Bank benefit. I haven't paid for my ring. I'm going to start paying it off by sleeping well. If I sleep well 3 out of 7 nights a week, I will not pay for my watch. If I have bad night sleeps in concession and less, then I will pay for it through my credit card facility.
What is Discovery rate is sleep?
7 to 8 hours sleep, duration deep sleep. Do you get 3, Chris? It's going to be heart rate. It's going to be your deep sleep, your REM sleep, hours sleep, and restlessness, heart rate. So there are various categories.
Can we speed this up because my watch just told me I've got to go to bed.
Don't worry, I think there's a few people sleeping already. But I think what is important that the benefit is live. It's available now today. However, we will only be introducing the billing part of it in April. So it gives us a lot of opportunity to test it, see how it's going to work, see how it's going to come in. If it's not for you, please don't be stressed because your need is not going to change on your Vitality space. If, however, it's something you're interested in exploring and understanding, it is an opportunity for you to earn more Vitality points, earn another play on the game board, earn some more miles, and have some more miles to spend on Miles D-Day. So certainly something that is going to be interesting. I'm trying to think what else we need to give you in terms of the Vitality space. Some nice new gyms in the private gym space that have become available, giving you access to gyms outside of the mainstream gym memberships that you may be aware of. The extra points that you could be getting in terms of the healthy foods. We are also going to be introducing extra points that can be earned in the drive space. So in the drive space, there may be people who are going, how do I get to Diamond on Vitality Drive? We are introducing more points for sleep. We're introducing an AI, are you ready for it? Tailored driving tips. Oh. Where there will be the opportunity through the intuitive AI that is being gathered on your phone to say you are coming up to a spot where you typically speed. Consider slowing down. You are coming up to a spot where cornering is typically your behavior. Consider alternative. So we'll get there. I have no doubt. We'll try our best. So very interesting AI technology coming through on the banking, on the driving system. And for those of you who have young adults on the Vitality Drive, you'll know that it certainly rewards them and gives them an encouragement to actually drive better. And that's at the end of the day what Vitality Drive is about. Creating a nation of better drivers. There are new points coming through on the Vitality Drive side in terms of a panic button, a Discovery 911, where you'll be able to actually get a panic button that you can have with you available on your keys, etc., which would give you access to emergency services. And we'll be explaining that as that's coming through in the new year. Also giving us smoke detectors. You'll know that Discovery recently launched their fire engine to try and prevent and mitigate some of the loss that the insurance company picks up from fires. So smoke detections will be an opportunity for you to have a detection included in your house, where you'll then be able to have a fire dispatched if there is smoke detectors that come through. And again, those will be explained in more details when we get through to the technical details and it's launched into. But today's just an overview. And one of the big things that I thought was quite interesting, anybody who's using the insurance excess fund, that is where your cash backs are going into your insurance excess funder account being doubled. You'll be able to use those funds for your eNatus renewals as of next year. So again, giving you access to some of those funds. And I'm digressing. Vitality Sleep, that is obviously available, that we've spoken about. The devices that can measure linking in the Oura Ring, get sleep well, get rewarded for it. And they will also be introducing, incidentally, on the Oura Ring, it will be 1 ring per member on the Vitality. Any of you who've used the Apple Watch benefit would remember that it was 1 watch per family membership. The Ring is 1 per member. So quite nice. You can then track how your teenagers are sleeping. And if they're sleeping better and longer because they're only getting up at 11 o'clock in the morning, give them your Ring. You didn't hear that from me. Do remember you sign a honesty pledge. But there will be, as of next year, the ability to fund a Garmin watch. So in the past, it was always an Apple Watch, and Garmin Watch have come on as a new member as of next year.
Apple phone where?
No, Apple still remains as a partner. Incidentally, you can have either a Ring benefit or a watch benefit. So please don't snooker yourself if you want one or the other. Be aware that there is a limit to either a watch or a Ring on the Vitality membership. Yes, Chris. Not sure. I'll get back to you. I have an intern that will get me an answer. Hey, Simon. I'm not sure of the technical details, but it's substantial. I think there was a point that I was going to make in terms of it, but I'm not quite sure where I was going. We'll get back to it. Special offers. At this stage, there are always some special offers that do come through out for the last quarter of the year. We have a boost on lump sums to our Discovery Retirement Contribution. Our Discovery Retirement Contribution is typically a retirement annuity that dovetails your life policy, that gives you a lot of benefits of cashbacks being doubled at age 65, that gives you unused life cover funding retirement at age 65. So a very valuable proposition that's available there. We have recently launched a lump sum going into there where you can get an up to 25% boost on those contributions. So something that I'm very excited to share with my clients, building up a tax credit for future and making sure that you're planning for retirement and having a good, happy, healthy one. CAP 200, 300 is a guarantee plan that gives you capital guarantee and the potential of up to 200% or 300% growth over a 5-year period. Very exciting tranches. We've been running for them for about the last 6 years, and they've all, aside from one, doubled capital. So a really good track record. Long may it last. And incidentally, the one that didn't was one that was launched as COVID hit. So that's the only one where we've had a slight dip. Home loans on the Discovery Banking side, some nice new initiatives coming through on the Discovery Bank. The miles, we are now going to be able to spend miles at Woolworths in the new year, which is not something we've been able to do. A couple of new plans, new share partners that are coming into the miles where we can spend. And then home loans. Personal loans have been launched with great interest rates that's available. And then home loans giving you up to 75% reduction on transfer fees if you transfer or switch your fund from your current provider through to Discovery. 3 times your cash back if you switch into the insurance funder account. So if I've said something about the insurance or you're going, let me have a look and explore to move to your car insurance to Discovery, the special is going to be getting 3 times your petrol cash back instead of the double that we currently have as the insurance funder account. Gap cover, 3 months free on joining. Vitality, 3 months free on joining. So an ideal opportunity to join the gap cover and the Vitality. And with that, we're going to come to a close. Have I missed anything, Estelle?
I don't think so. But we can carry on until tomorrow.
Thank you.
I'll remember.
I need my point. What I think is important is to know that we have a depth of knowledge that we're able to share with you. We don't know what you don't know. So if there are questions, please reach out to us. pop us an email. We'll get back to you and answer those questions, and let us know what additional information we could be sharing in a platform of this nature. Remember where we are, who we are, and what we're doing. And as we head towards the end of the year, our last Thursday of the month club is going to be Baby Oh Baby. And that is because next month, on the 19th, we'll be flying across to the UK for Skin and I to hopefully welcome our happy, healthy granddaughter. So the first into the family, and we'll be touching base and we'll be coming live to you from sunny London, and we can hope, and sharing with you what financial planning should happen when a baby is introduced into a family. And that will be for parents and grandparents and great-grandparents, because it's an exciting time. Our maternity benefits, our life policies, our global education protector. Discovery has incredible solutions, and we'll be sharing with you some of the thoughts and the ideas, how to maximize the Discovery Bank to get 50% back from Baby City, and those will be just some of the points that we'll be discussing. But on that chord, I'm going to say thank you so much for joining us this evening. If there are any questions, please raise your hand. I know some people do need to run off and rush and leave, so you're very welcome to. If you don't need to, please stay and have another drink with us, or some more food if there is, and interact and network, because that is what these evenings are for, is for you to get to know some of the people, get you to ask some of the questions. And on that score, Dennis is here, and he's going in for a massive operation on Tuesday. So when I saw him here, I said to him, wow, that's commitment, and we wish you well, Dennis. And we hope that you have a speedy recovery, and that our thoughts are with you. Any questions, ladies and gents? We will start in the back corner.
2 questions on different topics. First of all, the pathways to health. Now, I can see the concept, but what I'm struggling with is they say, yes, you get all these perks and benefits and longer term, right? But they also ask you to do things which are going to cost you a lot of money in the short term. So, I mean, there's a trade-off, I can understand the preventative aspect. But in terms of being out of pocket, particularly in the short term, and not getting it back in any way or in any remotely anywhere near what it's costing you, I have a problem with that.
But you were going to do it either or, neither nor. So you were doing it to earn your points. There are also prompts that's not going to cost you a cent, like activating nominating your doctor. That's not going to cost you anything. And those would fund the parts that would cost you money. But remember, going for an eye test gets paid from screening and prevention. So you're not paying for those.
It's a question of which one. I mean, what I've been asked to do, but I know it's going to cost me a lot of money.
Not really.
No, I hear you, Nigel. I think what's important is that there are certain things that do come with a high ticket. We had a client the other day who needed to go for a hearing test. They can be sizably priced from an audiologist. It's important at that age group to test it. You might say, why? Well, there's a direct correlation to hearing and dementia. So it's important to deal with the hearing to potentially delay dementia, potentially. We could argue and debate that whether it's possible or not, but there is medical evidence that creates that. Now, if you can't go for the hearing test because there isn't funds available, as Estelle is saying, do the items that don't have a cost. Nominate your doctor, increase your activities somewhat. Potentially what that could do is build up enough funds to fund that important test that's there. So Discovery giving back is not necessarily what the cost was, but as Estelle says, we're hoping and trusting that you would see the importance of that for the well-being of your health in general. So, and obviously there's constant initiatives to try to curtail some of those costs, but sometimes that's outside of the control of the scheme.
Second question, something completely different, relating to the Vitality Health and Food Benefit. This intrigued me in this area I work on professionally. You say that I'm talking about the relationship with giving back. Okay, Discovery told me that Pick and Pay dumped them. Pick and Pay told me that you dumped Pick and Pay.
Above my pay grade.
Not
Above,
everybody wants to go to Checkers and Woolies.
I hear you. It's above my pay grade, Nigel. I'd love to know all of the do's and the don'ts and how it goes. But unfortunately, yeah, I think it is, it's unfortunately, some people love the concept of Checkers. I think what was good for me was that there was now an online and an in-store, which was something that was new and novel. But it's certainly something to take back. I think that there is always room for feedback, and I'll give that feedback through to the teams. Yeah.
Looking forward, NHI is coming. It means that all of that stuff is going to change dramatically in the next 3 to 50 years. What is Discovery doing to fight that possibility for that situation?
There's a lot that they're doing in the background in terms of encouraging. Discovery's stand on national health is that we need it. The country needs to have a solution. In its current form as it's proposed is not workable. That is being debated, worked with the powers that be to try and see if we can, obviously have the input into the potential outcome of national health insurance. I'd argue to a certain extent that a lot of the initiatives that are being introduced is potentially setting us up for some national health insurance in terms of flexi-care, in terms of our active smart plan, giving people access to healthcare potentially with exclusions, and you would have to do this and you'd have to do that, as if national health insurance comes into play, would certainly be where it is. Discovery are very active at the moment in terms, along with big business in various spaces, chatting to government, establishing and trying to put forward, concerns, solutions that potentially may happen. Where it's going to go to, we're not sure. We'll watch the space. I think it becomes a very talked about event when there are changes that's coming. There's been a few in the press of late, but we stand by. There is a lot of hurdles and jumps that's going to need to happen before it comes in, that's going to change and transform our lives. We know that it's needed. How do we make that work for the country? That's a question that I don't know if the solutions and answers are there yet. Fred,
I think you mentioned something about activity points, but you didn't enlarge on them.
5,000 extra points for activity. So instead of having a cap at 30,000 points, we'd now be able to get 35,000 points per annum as of next year.
What is the oral versus rings? What does it interact with the system? What do you need? What other equipment do you need actually for the ring monitor by itself?
It talks to your cell phone,
Okay.
which talks to the Vitality app.
Okay. Right.
Bluetooth.
Bluetooth.
So there's a Bluetooth on.
That's good.
It's unbelievable. It literally is. It arrived I ordered it online. I got a sizing kit. I wore the sizing kit, chose my kit, ordered it. The next day it arrived. I put it on a charger for half an hour. I put it on my ring finger. It's synchronized with everything, seamless. And 6 days later, I got a notification on my phone to say I had 15 hours of battery left. I needed to recharge it. Mm-hmm. I stuck it on. It was charging for about an hour or so, put it back on my finger. And I wake up in the morning, I grab my phone, I open my Aura app, and it downloads all of this data and tells me whether I've had a good night's sleep or not.
Is that data going to be available through the phone, through the watch?
Yeah, this is
Because I've got some other crazy thing with ads and rubbish that I'm going to get rid of. So I can just use that one.
Absolutely. So anybody who does not want to go for the watch of the ring can simply sleep with their watch. Skin had ordered it. He stopped the order because he'd rather have a new watch. He'll wait for the Garmin. He'll sleep with his Garmin. He'll get his sleep and he'll deal with it from there.
actually wake up to the fact that you take vitamins, you take calcium, and you take magnesium, none of which they pay. Yes, they may pay for because you use your nervous system or whatever, but they have to actually start coming on board with a more holistic approach, because it's not all about screening and you know, like, yeah. So do they ever talk about that? Was it just, you know, the
I'd have to be dreadfully honest and say it's not been something I've heard, but it's something that I can take back with the pick and pay question to ask, Susan. But because
you know, I think this right.
yeah,
Actually,
absolutely.
holistic, more natural approach, homeopathic approach. That's we pay for, and
Yeah.
might be on a benefit scheme or whatever, but you have to pay for that idea of a problem. And I think Discovery is going to be.
I'll find some information out and pass it on and share it with you.
And vitamin D.